we got to talk about this main event. Now, I read a comment by our friend James McDaniel right before I started watching the main event, because I was watching on a delay, because I actually was a guest on a podcast on Saturday night too, The Wrap, and we were recording just after the UFC pay-per-view started, so I had to watch on a bit of a delay. And I saw the comment, oh, that was the greatest UFC light heavyweight title fight I've ever seen. And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. You know, like there's been a lot of really good light heavyweight title fights over the years. So I got a really good fight to look forward to. And I respect James's opinion. So I'm like, okay, great. And I'm watching this fight. And I mean, to me, like, I think James sold it short. I think this was the best UFC fight of all time, not just light heavyweight title fight, not just title fight. I don't know. I think it was the best title fight, best fight of all time. How you've seen them all, like literally every single UFC fight in history, and the good ones way more than once. What do you think?
Okay, it is. I agree 100% with James that it is the best light heavyweight title fight of all time, and there's been some good ones. Obviously John Jones and Alexander Gustafsson, the first time they fought was incredible, and Cormier and Gustafsson, that was a great title fight. Even going back as far as Forrest Griffin and Quentin Jackson, their title fight was really, really strong. But this was the best light heavyweight title fight of all time. As far as best fight of all time, it's up there. I don't know that I can say it. I don't know that I can even say it's the best light heavyweight fight of all time, because of that first Dan Henderson Shogun Rua fight, because that was incredible.
That was good.
That was incredible. I still think
I missed that one.
You missed that one. You need to go back and Have you seen it?
I was watching Strike Force or WAC or whatever it was that night. The other great fight we had on the same night. Bellator, yeah.
Bellator.
Chandler Alvarez.
Yeah, the first time they fought. Yeah. But have you seen that first Hendo Shogun fight?
No.
You've never seen it?
No. No.
Go back.
I've seen highlights.
Go back and watch that when you have 30 minutes sometime. That's incredible.
Okay.
Incredible. But
I'll do it this week.
You don't have to, just whenever. But as far, I have a tough time saying that this is the best UFC fight of all time, because there's been so many incredible ones. I still lean towards Robbie Lawler and Rory McDonald. Their second fight being the best.
Yeah,
being the best one.
Fight.
Best one. And
here's the reason. Okay, here's my rationale for saying it was the best of all time. To me, this was like a movie. This was if you were scripting Rocky, and Rocky was an MMA fighter, you'd have Glover as Rocky and Jiří would be, his opponent. And every round had the one guy completely dominating the round until the last minute, and then the other guy came back and almost and was dominating at the end, to the point where you almost were questioning who won the round. That happened in every single round until you got to the last round. And then in the last round, you had Glover took him down, and Jiří's he's done. He's tired. He's not getting up. Glover's a black belt. He submits to everyone. He's not going to submit Jiří, but Jiří's not getting up. And then Glover mounts him with 2 minutes left. And you're like, this fight's over. He'll just lie there. You might not submit him, but it's over. And then all of a sudden, he out of nowhere springs up, out of the mount, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. But whatever, he's still not going to win. And then all of a sudden he takes him down, gets his back, and you're like, okay, whatever, he's still not going to win. And then all of a sudden it's over. I'm like, what? I heard you describing it on Wrestling Observer, and I said, I watched on delay, but I knew it was going to be a great fight. I had no idea what I was in for.
Yeah.
And my God, this was so great.
Yeah, well, you remember how I've been talking about, if you were to make a movie about an MMA fighter, like Glover Teixeira coming in this fight was a perfect, and this would be how you end that movie with to lead to a sequel. It was just absolutely incredible. And for Jiří just to pull out the victory out of the jaws of defeat was incredible.
God.
I saw this thing. It was two pictures. It was one where Glover had Jiří mounted. And then the second picture was Jiří standing up, holding his arms up. And the caption said, "These pictures were taken 72 seconds apart." That's just how quick it turned around. And this fight was just absolutely incredible. I mean, I thought Jiří was going to knock Glover out in the second round, and he came close several times to knock him out. But Glover just like there were shots that Glover was taking that that a few years ago he wasn't able to take, and it's crazy. Usually, as you get older and keep taking those shots, the chin goes more. But he was taking just some wild shots and going right through it, and Jesus, it's just what a fight! I mean, it's hard to put it into words.
Procházka as well was like taking shots from Glover, where like you were like, all of a sudden he's got the skankly legs and he's gonna go down, and you're like, okay, well, Glover's just gonna take him down and submit him, like that's what's gonna happen. And then he took him down, but he didn't submit him. Like, I don't know how Jiří didn't get submitted, like, at all. Like, Glover submits everybody, and like he earned this championship. Like the ending, the way he like pulled victory out of the jaws of defeat, as the cliche says. I mean, that part was reminiscent of Silva Sonnen 1, except for that. I mean, Silva Sonnen 1 was like, 24 minutes or 23 minutes of Sonnen laying and praying on top, and then Silva just getting a submission out of nowhere. But this was just, I mean, I guess it's really hard to compare it in some cases. Like, you brought up that Lawler Rory McDonald fight, or you could even go, with Weili Zhang and Ioane and Jacek, the first one, where, it was just, rock'em sock'em robots for 25 minutes and, incredible damage in that. I mean, we got a bit of that, but nothing like that. To me, this was more like the drama, and to where, like, you and I are both pro wrestling fans, and I don't think you could script a pro wrestling match this good. Like, I sure as hell know WWE couldn't do it. Maybe AEW or New Japan, but I don't even think they could.
I mean, the closest match I've seen in like the last year that maybe gave me the same kind of emotion as far as like wrestling was maybe Hangman and Danielson, the first fight, or maybe Punk and MJF, the dog collar match. It's just,
but completely different, different kind of fights.
It's just, it's hard to compare MMA to pro wrestling, because pro wrestling, you can come up with all these ideas and all that, and it comes off great. But this is like basically, it's a fight. It's improv. Like, you don't know what the hell's going to happen, and it's a different kind of drama, and it's the best kind of drama when you're watching MMA. It was just incredible. Like, words, it's really hard to put into words just how great this fight was, and it's a fight that I could probably watch once a month and just enjoy the hell out of it every time.
Well, I wonder, and I wonder if you'll leave room for the fact that, maybe if I ask you the same question in like a year from now, what was the best fight of all time, might you actually come back to this one, as to where, like, right now, maybe, you don't want to say, like, with recency bias and everything like that. And me, I'm prone to hyperbole. Every fight I see is either the best or the worst fight I've ever seen. So, hopefully, this one, when people are talking about their best fights of all times, I think maybe even, you could even go with not necessarily even best, but favorite or best story, or, there's got to be something. This fight's going in the Hall of Fame, guaranteed. Yeah. And good for, new world champion Jiří Procházka, I heard like about 9 different pronunciations of his name when I heard Wrestling Observer the other day, but good for him. I mean, you've been calling this since before his first UFC fight, and here we are a couple years later, and he's the champ. And like you said, I mean, I think we need to go right to the rematch, but and there's no real. You brought up some names in the post-fight thing, but I mean, there's nobody that is just sitting there like, oh my God, this guy's got to have a title shot like right now. So, I mean, there's no reason once these guys are recovered 6 months from now, give another 5 rounds and let's see what happens.
Yeah. I mean,
excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, real quick, you know how I've been doing the star ratings for MMA fights, and I said I would never break the 5-star for the best fight. I didn't, but this is a fight that like I was just tempted to because it was that incredible.
I would have
that incredible. And I will say this:
I'd have gone like 6.5. I'd have gone 6.5.
Yeah, I don't know. I might have gone a little overboard and gave it 10. You know, that's just how crazy. But I will say that this fight, I know he's going up to heavyweight. This fight really made me want to see Jiří against John Jones. I mean, just that kind of style matchup is just like I've been wanting to see that fight, you know, since before Jiří came in, but that made me want to see it even more. This fight made John Jones want to fight Stipe Miocic. But as far as
even, you know, I even want to see like Glover against John Jones at this point now. I mean, we saw it years ago, but this is a different guy.
Yeah, this is a different Glover.
Like,